I was about to adjust the chain on my bike for a ride this weekend, and thought I would pull out the camera to post a quick tip on what to make sure you do when you check your chain tension, or how tight your chain is. Quite often people forget that your chain is at its tightest when the swing arm is completely level. I should say when your sprocket, your swing arm pivot, and your rear axle, when they're all completely aligned in a straight line, that's when your chain is at its tightest. So when you adjust your chain, you want to make sure that you get as close to that as possible. What I usually do is get a tie down, attach it to my frame, and then jump on the back of the bike a few times while pulling on the tie down tightener to get it as straight as possible for adjustment. Even still, I wasn't able to get it completely straight, as you can see. It'd be better to have a buddy jump on the bike and someone else do the adjusting, but what I'll do is I'll just leave it a little looser than what I would normally run it if I had that completely straight for the proper adjustment. And then once you make the adjustments, it's not a good idea to always rely on these little notches. A good tip that I read about a couple years ago is you take a straight ruler, so like a steel ruler or a square. I use a square actually, and you align it with your sprocket. That's what I use. But you align it with your sprocket, or you set the square against your sprocket, and have a look down your chain to make sure that your chain isn't running one way or the other of the ruler. Now on my bike I actually have to remove this and this in order to put my ruler flat against the sprocket, because again what you want to do is have it flat up against the sprocket, and then you peer down and you want to make sure that your chain overlaps the same amount of your ruler all the way down. So if you're noticing your chain as looking from behind and above, it's going this way, or if the ruler is like starting to point inwards, you know that your sprocket isn't properly aligned. And now I've checked mine periodically, and my notches are actually pretty accurate. So for this adjustment I'm just going to rely on those notches. But again, it's always a good idea to get out a straight-edged ruler to double check. Make your adjustments, tighten everything up, and go ride.